Hey YouTube! Okay, so as a body piercer, one of the most popular questions I get is all about nipple piercings. So I'm gonna do a little do and don't and just a rundown of what a nipple piercing experience is like for the piercer and for the actual piercee. I have been pierced twice now. I've got them done about 10 years ago and they unfortunately rejected and were not that well done. And I got them done recently and I am so fucking happy with them. So I'm just gonna tell you from my experience of piercing them and from being a piercee what they're like because I get this question all the time. Um, First things first, of course, with any modification, with a tattoo, with a piercing, I know a lot of people think piercings are just some like, oh, just stick a needle in it, there's some jewelry and you're good. They're pretty much a surgical like experience. Like that's the sterility you want. You want it to be as clean as humanly possible. And yeah, they're sticking a needle in your skin, but there's veins and stuff, and there's all this stuff around there. So you want to go to somebody who you've researched and know is a good piercer. Talk to your friends, talk to people that have piercings, talk to anyone, research online, go on Facebook, see what the reviews are, anything you can do to sort of get an information. Now, my personal experience, and I know this sounds really hypocritical coming from me because I am a piercer who's going to be a tattoo artist, I would go to somebody who was a piercer first. And the reason I say this, and it's not knocking anybody who happens to be a tattoo artist who knows how to pierce, but a lot of times, not always, when you're a tattoo artist who happens to know how to pierce, you don't give a fuck about piercings. Piercings, tattoo and piercing, it's a business. As much as it's an art form, it also is a business. And a lot of times when piercings became really popular, those tattoo shops brought in a piercer because they want to bring the extra money. And I don't knock them for it. I understand that's how you make your money. I mean, this is your business. But if you find someone who's a tattoo artist who just happens to know how to pierce, they sometimes don't really give a fuck. So make sure you research your artist. It is so important. Like one of the most important steps of getting any body modification is to research your artist. Now you research, you found the person you want to go to. Now there's a few ways. I mean, everybody has their own ways of doing it. Body piercing is not a like exact science. There's not exact ways everybody does it. But for my personal experience of being someone who's gotten them done and being someone who does piercings, this is just what I think is the correct way. I might be wrong. It's just how I feel. I do not let anybody ever free pierce me. I think free piercing is terrifying. When I say free piercing, it's someone who doesn't use a clamp. When they just sort of pinch your skin and shove that needle through, because yeah, that looks really fucking cool. And it's like, oh wow, awesome. Clamps do a few things. Clamps make sure that I hold that skin nice and tight and make sure you get a perfectly even piercing, and they also numb a little bit. So people who get their nipples pierced are always so scared, like they're terrified. And I get it, I was terrified both times. I was terrified when I got done the first time, and the second time, and I do this for a living, and the second time, and I was still terrified. So I get it. But the clamp actually sort of like numbs your skin a little bit because you're focusing on the pain of the clamp. So by the time that needle goes through, it's like, ah, okay, done. You know what I mean? Like it literally is like, oh, okay, done, and that's it. Like it's literally you can't even count to 10. So of course, research your artist. Now, I prefer when I do my piercings, I lay the client down. The reason there's a lot of times I lay them down for a lot of piercings, a lot of earwork, all that kind of stuff. I lay them down because passing out is something that can happen with any piercing regardless, but especially if you do not eat beforehand, if you do any drugs beforehand or drink or anything like that, you're more likely to pass out. And if you do any drugs or drink beforehand, you're going to piss off your piercer, so don't fucking do that, thanks. Personal pet peeve, please don't come fucked up, because honestly anybody who comes like on pain pills or drinking or even smoking, smoking pot or whatever, you think that it's going to make you not feel it as much. No, you're going to feel it actually more because you're focusing on it more. Like with pain pills, your pain tolerance is all fucked up anyway, so you're already going to feel it more. With alcohol, you're going to bleed like fucking crazy, and no piercer likes when you bleed like fucking crazy. And when you smoke, you literally are doing nothing but focusing on it. So please come sober and fed. It's just going to give a good time for all involved. And even sober and fed, you can still pass out. So I like to lay my clients down, so if they do happen to pass out, they're already laying down. And I feel like you get calmer when you're laying down. You're just focusing on breathing. And that's what you want to do when you go through anything that's scary. Just focus on breathing. Like deep breathing exercises are always a good thing. A good piercer is going to walk you through what they're going to do. There's no surprise piercings. We don't want surprise piercings. I don't want to surprise my clients, so I let them know exactly what's going to happen. Now, I'm just going to go through what I do with my clients. This may be different for everybody, but this is what I do with my clients. I will have them stand up like normal, like how I'm standing pretty much in front of my computer. That way gravity is working. When gravity is working, and yes, you are going to have to take your top off and your bra off. And I know that sounds so scary to some people, but it's just skin to us. It's just skin. I barely touch your chest. For the most part, I'm using a Q-tip to clean your nipples, and I'm going to mark them. That's all we're going to do. Literally, I'm going to have you stand in front of me with your shirt off and your bra off and everything, and I'm going to look at your symmetry. No one has matching boobs. No one. Now, maybe if you have, a fake chest, Like, you may possibly have them, perfectly aligned because they were perfectly aligned, they were made by a doctor. But if you have like natural boobs, they are going to always have one's a little bigger, they're not going to be perfectly even. And so the job of the piercer is to make them appear perfectly even. So we have you just sort of stand like this, and we clean you, iodine, alcohol, and then we use a sterile marker. Do not use, if they're using a Sharpie, please walk away from it, because a Sharpie, unless they're throwing that Sharpie away, and they're all disposable Sharpies, which is expensive and usually is not true, that means they're using that every person. It means it's not sterile and they can spread germs. And Sharpie markers are germs. You want Venetian violet. So they have Venetian violet markers, and they have Venetian violet like little that you put on with a stick. Please make sure they use Venetian violet. Mark them, and then I usually have them lay down, and I'll put the clamp on then. Some people are different. Sometimes I'll put the clamp on and then have them lay down. Sometimes I have them sit up. It's really the artist's preference. I prefer to have my clients laying down. And literally lay down, clamp, have them take a deep breath, pierce, jewelry, and do the other one. One is always going to hurt more than the other one. But usually, like, if I do this one first, this one's going to hurt more, just because your adrenaline's pumping. And your adrenaline's pumping so much, you get the first one done, and you're like, okay. And the second one's going to hurt a little more because your adrenaline's already sort of like weighing down that point in. And when I say hurt, it's not the end of the world. Your brain is going to be like, oh my God, that's going to be the worst thing ever. When you actually get it done, it's not that bad. It really isn't. And for people like me, like, I have a smaller chest. I'm a big girl, but I got small tits, and it has made me like my chest so much more, so much more. So honestly, pain-wise, it probably is about a 6 pain-wise. It's not really that terrible. Getting my anti-eyebrow, which I miss so much, was probably one of the most painful piercings I've had. It was really pretty much like a 6, and I love them. They help increase sensation. They help me like my chest more. I am a huge fan. If you are scared of getting them, I understand why you're scared, but seriously, push yourself through it. But you gotta, when I say push yourself through it, if you're in that room shaking, I'm not going to pierce you, and most artists are not going to pierce you because you're not going to be able to handle the piercing. So you need just breathing. I always just tell my clients, breathe. Just take a deep breath and breathe with me. That is the best thing you can do. You want to calm yourself down. Besides that, like, they don't hurt that bad. Of course, 3 times a day, you want to clean them, morning, noon, and night. You want to clean them in the morning, like after you've taken your shower, because you're going to get shampoo, you're going to get body wash, all that stuff's going to go on. There's no way it's not. It's impossible to be able to cover your nipples when you shower. That's impossible. So you want to clean them when you get out of the shower. And we recommend stuff like H2 Ocean or Wound Wash Saline. You don't want to use stuff like alcohol or hydrogen peroxide or anything crazy like that, because, or even like Neosporin. That stuff's all meant to heal wounds. But it's meant to heal wounds when it's not over a piece of jewelry. You want something that's going to heal a wound over a piece of jewelry, but still be not really harsh. Because you get use something like alcohol, it's really, really harsh, even though it is something that will heal it. It will actually strip the cells and take forever to heal. And everyone's different. I mean, you can take, a month to heal, it can take 6 months to heal. But if it's, 6 months later and it's still red and dry and shit, yeah, that probably is not going to heal. It is going to secrete a clear yellowish fluid. This is all normal. It's going to be sore. All of this is normal. It's going to be red. All that fun stuff. You want to clean 3 times a day. So morning, you want to do it sometime in the afternoon. So you want to do it before if you go to the gym, that's a great time to do it because you've gotten all sweaty. If not, just sometime in the afternoon, and then right before you go to sleep. Also invest in a one size too small sports bra, because honestly, like, I'm the kind of person, I sleep in my underwear. And you think about it, even if you have a nice clean bed, there still might be dog hair or whatever in that bed, or God knows what. So if you have something just over it, sort of pressing your chest against you, A, you're going to make sure there's no, dirt that's going to go on it. And B, it's not going to move around. Also, jewelry. You have barbells, you have curved barbells, and you have captive beads. And sometimes horseshoes, like hoops in general. I don't recommend hoops for the piercing to start. You can always change the jewelry later. But the reason I don't recommend hoops is hoops constantly are spinning around. Even if you have the horseshoes, they're still moving around a lot. And that is basically the part that is not in your nipple is exposed to the air and germs and, fabric and everything. And that can go inside the piercing. And no one wants that inside the piercing. So I recommend barbells. Curved or straight, whatever, just a barbell. Basically, besides that, it's actually not that hard of a piercing to heal. Mine took about 2 weeks, and it was pretty much healed. Mind you, I had them done before, but I got them done a second time. The first time I had it done with a 16 gauge. The second time I had it done with a 14 gauge, and actually pierced a little behind more because I have a smaller nipple and I have a smaller chest. Make sure your piercer, really is passionate about their job. They want to make sure that you have someone who's going to look at your body and want to make sure that they are symmetrical and perfect for your own body. Not every piercing is the same. Not everybody's body is the same, and we can't pierce everyone exactly the same. Now, with that being said, certain steps should be still, kept. Of course, gloves and a sterile environment, and your needle should be in a package, and your clamp should be in a package, and all that stuff. But certain things, every piercer is going to have their own way of doing it. Besides that, I highly recommend them to anyone. If you are curious about it, or sort of thinking about it, get them done. I think it's one of the best things I ever did for myself. If not for the fact that, yeah, it increases sensation and all that wonderful stuff, being a big girl and having a small chest, it made me really confident in my chest. And it made my sensation like 10 fucking fold. Like, it increased some sensation. Now, there are a few studios that do something called a handling fee. And not knocking them, but at the same time, I find that odd. Because I might like girls and guys, but I've never looked at someone that I'm going to pierce and been like, boobies. Because A, I have my own boobies, and B, I'm more concerned to make sure that piercing is fucking straight because that's my name out there. You know what I mean? Like that's my career, that's my job. I want that piercing to be straight. I don't touch your chest. So to me, when somebody charges a handling fee, it makes me feel like they're going to fucking grope me. So I find it weird. But regardless, I say honestly, go for it. You only live fucking once, so why not pierce your fucking nipples? No one will fucking see it unless you choose to let them see it. It can also be like your own little secret, which is always just fucking fun. And they help increase sensation. They help you like your chest more, and I really don't see anything negative about them. I mean, all piercings have a chance of infection, but as long as you take care of it, you're probably not going to have to worry about that. And even with an infection, you can pretty much get rid of it. So that's just my 2 cents on it. If you want your nipples pierced and you're curious about it, go for it. You only live fucking once, go for it. Just, follow common sense. Don't get drunk beforehand. All that fun stuff. All right, guys. Bye.